What's going on, everyone in YouTube world? This is the Cockney Bike. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. This video is for advice pertaining to motorcycle shopping. I made some mistakes when I started buying motorcycles, mistakes that I wouldn't want you to have to go through. So here's some advice for those of you who are looking to buy yourselves a new motorcycle. Cue the intro. Motorcycles are, for all intentions and purposes, a luxury item. They're toys, hobbies, collectibles and status symbols. Unless your motorcycle earns you a living, they're not practical, and the motorcycle dealerships know that. So when it comes to the motorcycle market, the selling points are in the passion, the thrill, the torque, the speed, the looks, the camaraderie, and despite evidence to the contrary, the sex appeal. So what's all of this got to do with you wanting to go buy a motorcycle? Sometimes buying a new bike, or used, is an impulsive and unplanned decision, meaning you don't have much of a chance to plan how to buy your bike. You just know you want it. It's like love at first sight. You fall in love with the bike and they tell you, oh, we've had other interested parties come look at this. It won't stay on the floor very long. You know, they make you emotionally invest in it. You want it, you're drooling for it. And then they tell you it might not be available when you come back. Buy it now, it's the only way to secure it. Now, for the most part, dealerships are pretty good people. They've got integrity. You know, they'll look for the best deal for you because 9 times out of 10, they're hoping that you may come back to them someday and they don't want to leave a nasty taste in your mouth. But there are always these 1 or 2 like slightly dodgy dealerships. And it's not even though that they're that dodgy with everybody. It's just that like, if they see you coming through the door and they're like, oh great, here's a touch. Here's a soft touch. Before you go to any dealership to buy a new bike or used, you should know that there is a better way to get financing rather than going through the dealership finance. The best advice anyone can give you, anybody will tell you, get a wad of cash saved up and go and buy it outright. That's the one only main way where you'll get like probably the best deal in terms of financing because you lent yourself the money. Save up and buy it. Now if you're like me, you're not that rich, you have to finance things. And that's when it all starts getting a little bit tricky. There is an absolute minefield that you have to negotiate when it comes to dealerships that if you tread carefully, you can ride off with a really good deal. Otherwise, you'll feel like you've been ripped off and left in financial ruin as you're stuck with a 7-year payment at some extortionate interest rates that you'll never get out from underneath. Because going in there forewarned, you're forearmed, at least like with the good and bad or what's worth it. Some people aren't assertive. They cave under pressure. And as a result, they do get taken advantage of. 2 guys who earn the same amount of money, have the same credit score, will walk into a dealership and want to buy the same motorcycle. That would be advertised at exactly the same price. One of those guys is going to ride off the lot with like a really sweet deal, you know, couple of grand off a 10 grand bike or something, and the other guy is going to get stitched. And that's a personality thing, that's your ability to haggle, to negotiate the prices of motorcycles or anything. Knowing what you want and how much you're going to pay for it will go a long way to help. But it can get confusing when a dealer starts juggling the math around you. And it's a bit of a shame though, because it promotes that kind of attitude of like obnoxiousness that like no one really likes. You know, I want what I want and they're going to give it to me whether you like it or not. Tends in these circumstances to win the day, and we always hear that same story, you know, like Uncle What's His Face goes to a dealership, wants to buy that new car or whatever it is, tells them, right, I'm going to pay 10 grand for this, you're going to pay the taxes and all the extra fees that go with it, and if you don't like it, I'm out that door. And they take it, they're like, yep, okay. When I bought my Harley Davidson Street Bob, I had one thing in mind, and that was to be able to afford the monthly payments. Now I asked for $350 a month, and that's exactly what I got. Except it was for 7 years on a $21,000 bike. And at 9% interest rate over the 7 years, I was going to pay them back nearly $30,000. Dawn's Switchback was a bit better at 7% interest rate. And at the same price, it was going to be paying still well over the odds. So I was not immune from making the wrong decision, and it was months after riding off the lot did I realise I made a terrible mistake. I was more concerned about the monthly payment than the overall price I was going to be paying for both the bikes.
So I stuffed every spare penny that I could get into paying that loan off early. All my tax rebates, my bonuses at work, everything. Every time I got a grand, I stuck it into the finance, into paying that bike off. I paid them off in like a course of like a couple of years. And as I calculated, I'd saved myself, on each bike, I saved myself I'll say again. I saved myself 6 grand on the street bob and about 5 grand on the switchback. Just in interest rates alone. When you go up there like with not much in the way of cash, so you're going to be expected to finance, there's always this kind of underlying subliminal kind of feeling that like they're doing you a favour, so don't rip the arse out of it. But you've got to get past those emotions. You still got to pay a price. You still got to haggle the price of the vehicle. I mean, this goes for like not just motorcycles, I mean, it goes for cars and all sorts.
Dealerships offer accessories, parts, upgrades, warranties, gap insurance, debt insurance and maintenance packages. That's as part of the overall deal. They're often sold at extremely inflated rates for an obvious reason.
If they offer you warranty or gap insurance, say no. You buy a brand new motorcycle or a brand new car, it's going to come with warranty out the gate. No matter what they say. Now, they might tack on some little bits and pieces and say, hey, well, if you get the extended warranty, you get free tyres. No, bullshit. You get free tyres if they pop and you've still got a ton of tread left on them. Anything less than that, you're on your own. You're paying full price. You're getting practically nothing, at least for the first 2 years. You can always get an extended warranty after the initial 2-year warranty or 3-year warranty's up. Don't buy it, any warranty at the time. As for gap insurance, Harley offer gap insurances for their bikes at about $600. BS. You can get a gap insurance from your local insurance dealer where you get your normal car and motorcycle insurance. You can get gap insurance from them for a lot less than that. It's just added ways of making more money because they can throw it all in with the loan. You know, you get like a 20 grand motorcycle and that's when they'll be popping you. If they're doing it right, they're popping you for all the extras like the stage 1 kit, the new saddles or like the new bits and pieces, different packages, engine frame protectors and stuff like that. They'll throw that all in so it's all in on the loan. And that's why they charge so much for it, because, you know, you don't really see much of a difference when you're looking at the difference between, say, you know, 22,299 versus 23,470. You know, when you're dealing with big numbers, those hundreds or thousands don't really seem to make that much of a difference.
And that's notwithstanding the labour costs of installation. The best way to upgrade or get extras is to buy them online or at a local dedicated shop. Then, unless you're mechanically minded, pay a local mechanic to do the installation. It's a process and it can take time, but it will save you a ton of money.
But when that gets thrown in with a loan and the interest that they're earning from those loans, based on what you've just gone and bought, you know, all your gear and stuff like that, adds up. Get your financing from a local bank first. I mean, I can't stress that enough. And here's the thing, if your bank says to you, look mate, you're not good for the money, we can't sort you out, then you can take it as read that, like, if you do it any other way, you try and get financing any other way, you're going to get ripped off. Dealerships' favourite customer are the ones who are just skirting the level where they can just about be financed, because they will go for like the financing that means that they're going to be paying like 10, 15, 20% interest rate over the course of 84 months. That 10 grand motorcycle that you buy is going to be worth, you're going to be paying 20 or 25 grand for it by the end of the term.
Negotiating the price on a new bike can be a daunting affair. Dealers want to talk about making it easier for you to pay the sticker price.
Research what you're buying, know how much it costs out of the factory, know everything that you can know about the vehicle you're buying, the bike, the car, whatever. Know it. Right down to the last detail. Watch every single YouTube video, read every website or blog about it. If you've got a trade-in, do not tell them that you've got a trade-in, or do not utilise that fact that you've got a trade-in until you're at the negotiation or at the part of negotiation where you're about to sign on the dotted line to say, I'm buying this bike.
The reason for that is if you've successfully negotiated down the price of the sticker, they may want to decrease the price of your trade-in to make up the difference. You lose either way. So hold off saying anything about a trade-in until you're at that point where you're ready to sign. Then lay it on them. They'll have no choice but to take the price in addition to your sticker price that you've negotiated.
Be prepared to say no and walk out. But like I said, it's an emotional deal. Especially if you're a young'un. Oh, if you're young and you're seeing this flipping jigsaw that is just absolutely gorgeous, then yeah, of course, your heart's aflutter. You've got to have it. You'll do anything to get it. And that's where they got you. But the biggest thing about buying a motorcycle is, once you've signed on that dotted line, that bike is yours, and you drive it off the lot, there's no takesy-backsies. If you've just made a really bad deal, you've looked at the paperwork, and you've suddenly discovered that you've been put on like 19% interest rate for 84 months, and what was supposed to have been like, you know, a $12,000 motorcycle suddenly turned into like a $22,000 motorcycle, but just because of all the optional extras and addeds and bits and pieces. You've got no one else to blame but yourself. You can go back to the dealership and have a moan if you want, but it's not going to work. You can try sweet talking with them, bargaining with them, begging them. You can threaten them. They're not going to back down.
Well, that pretty much covers everything that I need to say about buying a new motorcycle. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button. This is the Cockney Biker. You all take care of yourselves. And as always, laters.